my name is Daooeed Israel, right? My background, actually, I owned a marketing company for 45 years. I mean, excuse me, for 25 years. Excuse me, I didn't mean 45, 25 years. And I have been healing. I have, since I was younger, I had been helping people with their health, just herbs and all that. I know herbs inside and out, backwards and forwards, though I don't promote them anymore. I had herbs, herbal healing, all of those type things. I really mastered that. And I was just sharing the information with people if they called me or whatever. I didn't really think about it. I wasn't really doing it. I wasn't even considering it. At around the age of 45, I think it was 45, 46, around that age, I had a heart attack. So before that, as I stated, I was gifted with the Creation Series. And so the Creation Series is a 32-week course, right? Where I teach people how to create any reality it is that they actually want. And so in doing this course, during this time, people were actually healing themselves with their mind. And during this time frame, I had a heart attack. And I didn't go to the hospital. I stopped the heart attack with cayenne pepper, which will stop a heart attack or a stroke. And I could stay awake 2 hours a day, then 4 hours a day, 6 hours a day, 8 hours a day until I healed myself all the way back, right? Or allow my body to heal itself all the way back. And so this was a really powerful concept and situation that took place, and it taught me so much. And so what I learned was that inside of this mental health, you have to have your physical health, quote unquote, physical health together. Because if your body and your spirit are not vibrating at the same speed, one will kill the other. So for every level of consciousness that you unlock, if you're allowed to get into that zone, your body you have to be eating at that same level of consciousness. This is why you'll find people on lower levels of consciousness, because in reality, unless you're gifted to be allowed to go to the next level of consciousness, you're going to be at the level of consciousness according to your diet. That's why when they eat, like for instance, if a person says, I'm going to stop eating swine, the first thing a person will say is, are you Muslim? They automatically connect diet with spirit, with religion or spirituality. They connect that automatically. But when we start doing it in other things, we don't connect it anymore. We stop connecting conscious levels of consciousness and diet. So for every diet change, you're unlocking a new level of consciousness. However, there are times when you'll get a call and you'll hear a voice telling you you need to go raw, or you need to go vegan, or you need to do this, and you don't listen. And the reason being is because it's a possibility that that level of consciousness is being unlocked to you the actual before your body is ready for it. And if it is, what's going to happen is you're going to be vibrating at the wrong levels and you can die. That is how I ended up having my heart attack, because my body.
Sorry to interrupt you. So that means
Go
that
ahead.
you actually, your body, your spirit already wanted you to eat healthier, and it was already more advanced in a way than your actual physical body, right? Because
Absolutely.
I was also 1.5 years like fully raw vegan. That's how I met Ezra, in the raw vegan community. And
Mhm.
then I'm high raw now. I eat sometimes a little bit of cooked food, but
Okay.
I totally resonate with what you're saying. So carry on, please.
Right. And so when I had my heart attack, see, before I had my heart attack, 3 years, for 3 years, the voice kept coming to me, right? That spirit, that divine universal voice kept coming to me saying, you need to go raw. I knew it. I knew it to the point where I was actually telling people, like they would ask me, what do you eat? I'm a vegan, but I need to go raw. I would say that all the time. Like, I'm vegan, but I gotta go raw. I gotta go raw. I
Mm.
knew that, or as we call it live today, but raw, right? So I knew that, but I didn't do it. I was disobedient. And due to that fact, I had my heart attack. But it was one of the greatest blessings that ever took place, because now I'm able to help so many people. with so many different issues because everything is relative to nutrition. So
Mm.
everything that I teach is based in nutrition when it comes to what the average person would call physical food, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, no, that's amazing. Yes, and your for you health. Sorry, I just wanted to get the name for health for you health classes. When did you start that? Was it already a while ago?
No, it wasn't that long. It hasn't even been a year.
Oh, wow. And you have got a lot of clients.
Yes, I have a lot of clients as well as I have, my book is out. So I have my book, my clients. I have the health class every single month. And I have my Patreon, which allows people to come on and watch all my videos, get all my information, depending on which level that you're at. So if you're at my walk, I have my health class level, I have my YouTube level, I have my getting high with Daooeed level, which is the mental health, right? And dealing with meditation, the creation series, all of those videos are there. And then I have Walk with Daooeed, where I make a meal plan for you. You have 24/7 access to me. And I help individuals walk through their process personally with health. And you get a monthly consultation for free with me, as well as you can call me anytime. And like I said, you get the meal plan and I walk you through your process of healing, which is extremely powerful. And then I have my consultations, which are not listed there, but I have my consultations, hourly consultations for individuals with either regular health, meditation, or mental health. And I've helped a lot of people with that. That's my favorite. I'm really love mental health. That's my favorite part. I love that. That's like I help so many people. I help people, don't get me wrong, I help massive people with physical health. I like it because I'm saving their life. Like, or I'm not really, they're saving their own lives, really. And I like putting that power back into their hands. I like putting the power of the people back into the hands of the people, right? I like being a clearing. I like being a
Mm.
servant. So I put the power back into the people's hands. But when it comes to the mental, I love that, and I've always been able to do it, help people with their mental issues since I was a little child. Adults would even talk to me. My best friends are like 70, 80 years old. So like adults will always talk to me and ask me questions because I will always be able to help them through a process, even though I was younger than them. So that's always been a blessing for me. I did not go into the psychiatric field or how would you say that? The field of psychology, let's say
Psychology.
it that way.
Yes.
I didn't go into psychology because of I hadn't controlled my ego to the point yet where I would not go in and destroy somebody, meaning I would go into and be trying to pull from them what I wanted out of them because I'd be so excited about helping them and wanting. So that was my ego. But now I have been able to do that. And I really don't even want to hear
Mm.
so much what you're saying as I want you to more so hear what you're saying. I want a person to be able to grow and be able to clear. And so I have a very special form of meditation called the a special form of meditation called the clearing meditation. And this modality is what Ezra was talking about to
Yes.
you. And so the clearing meditation, um, I've seen people who've been a psychiatrist, psychologist, all of that. They tell me like nothing has ever worked for me until I do the clearing meditation. Because the clearing meditation was not something that was taught to me. I actually did it. It was given to me by the divine universal forces. I cleared myself and I saw when other people did it. So I started teaching it. And when I did, people were having major breakthroughs in their entire
Mm.
lives and were able to grow because that clearing meditation is the key to the next level of growth for individuals. Once they clear the mind, then it's time to clear the body. And this is where body meditation comes in. And then we can move from there to mantra meditation because you don't want to put new Mantras, like a lot of people will do mantras, right? And think
Mm.
that they're healing themselves, but they're not. Because what's happening is you're suppressing. So when we learned about meditation when I was younger, right? When you heard about it, you always heard this phrase, clear your mind, right? Well,
Yeah.
what most people do when they're trying to clear their mind, they're suppressing. They're taking the things that are negative and they're suppressing it, trying to clear. You do not suppress it. You must release everything. You
So
must
you
deal
help them
with it.
to, yes, you
Yeah,
help them to get rid of the negative belief system, to
correct. Through
face it
dealing with it.
and to
Yeah.
release it. Okay.
Yes, through dealing with it, not
Yes.
through suppressing. And
Mm.
until you deal with each one of those processes, it's going to show up in your life. And it's just
Mm.
a story you made up. It ain't true. It's just a story. You wrote a story around it. So once that's clear, now you got to clear the body because you got traumas throughout the body. So now you have to clear each chakra of the body, right? So that now the church bells are ringing, as it would say in the scriptures, but that's
Mm.
just a metaphor. So there's the church bells will be ringing throughout the body, right? Now you're clear. You got a clear mind, you have a clear body. Now you can allow what? Spirit or oxygen, as they call it, back into the body. And this is where physical healing comes in. See, most people believe that healing is a physical, I mean, excuse me, that your body or eating is a physical process. Eating is not a physical process. It is a spiritual process. That's why every time you eat or when you change your diet, all you're really doing is lightening up the diet. That's it. Why? Because you're allowing more oxygen or spirit into the body. Because
Mm.
wherever oxygen or spirit cannot get to in the body, that's where disease lives. That's why most diseases are anaerobic, meaning they do not want oxygen to live. Even cancer starts aerobic, but then
Mm.
it transfers or becomes anaerobic to survive because as oxygen gets to it, it then has to become back to into its regular form or regular cell. So we want to keep the oxygen or spirit, right, flowing through the body. And as you do that, you learn how to breathe properly, right? You lighten up the diet to allow more spirit in until you get to the point where don't even have to eat anymore. You're actually allowing full spirit into the body, and now you're a spiritual being. And so that is the goal. That is my goal. And that's
To be a
everybody's goal,
breatharian.
unbeknownst unto them, is to get to the point of being right,
Yes.
breatharian.
Yes, yes. So yeah, that's your goal to eventually do that. That is amazing. I don't know anybody right now that can do that, but I do follow some people that breatharians or they don't eat that often. I think it is possible, and like you said, because then you become spiritually, you create your reality differently as well. So
Correct.
it is possible. So because we create our own reality, so anything is possible that
Oh,
you
oh
that you
yeah.
that that's
Not
that's
only
applicable to you, in this lifetime that you need to explore as a spiritual being, I think.
absolutely. And if we look at something extremely simple, let's look at something that's scientific. First of all, the first thing we found out from the science is that the starvation diet is the healthiest diet on the planet, meaning the less you eat, the longer you live. Fasting, and it doesn't shorten your telomeres, it lengthens your telomeres, right? So telomeres, as you know, but I just want to make sure that your audience is clear that
Yes.
telomeres are the length of your life. So in other words, if if your telomeres shorten all the way, that means you're dead. So if you're lengthening your telomeres, you're lengthening your life, right? I want everybody to be clear on that. So if we consider that point, then when we eat, right? I mean, when we're not eating, we're gaining life because now we're eating what? Prana or spirit or
Mm.
energy. Now that's number one. Now let's look at this. When you fast for 24 hours, 36 hours, right? Or for 24 to 48 hours, excuse me. When you fast like that, what kicks in? What process kicks into the body?
The healing.
The healing, exactly, which is comes
Mm.
from ketosis, which then
Yes,
kicks us into autophagy, right? This is where the
yes.
keto diet comes from. But what is the body eating when you go into ketosis? It starts eating muscle and fat, right?
Mm.
So if I'm constantly working out, if I'm exercising and keeping my body up, then my body automatically has a food source at all times. You understand what I'm saying? So there's many ways you can look at it, but we can prove breatharianism scientifically. We can prove it, as you said, through the metaphysical idea, because you're going to create your reality. You're right. Anything is possible. And we can look at it from the point of a mental process. Whatever your mind thinks, you can go from there. So we can look at it metaphysically. We can look at it spiritually, being
Mm.
what that man lives by, not by bread alone, but by every word. And the word in Hebrew
Mm.
for word, which is the scriptures is originally written in Hebrew, the word there is dabar, which means what? Matter. So all,
Mm.
not by, you don't live by bread alone, but by all matter in the universe. So if I'm in this set of trees, I'm getting a different form of nutrients than if I'm in that set of trees when I'm breathing. So we have a breatharian lunch. Now I'm not breatharian yet, so I hold back on really teaching that because I don't teach anything that I have not done. But I like to
Yeah.
share the process that I'm going through, the things I'm learning that's moving me there comfortably.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Yes, and that's a topic we can talk about forever because it's such a amazing topic. I think what's also important is to be relatable. So I find, when I talk to people as well, if I would be a breatharian for some reason, then how many people could really relate to me?
Mm,
Sometimes it's also nice to just be relatable, even if you can do it. It's still nice. Like I'm a high raw vegan at the moment, and
that's beautiful.
when I was 100% raw, it was a little bit challenging, to visit people and to go somewhere with people because then you won't eat anything. You say, no, I bring my own things. At the if you go out to a restaurant, you're not having anything, you're just having water or a juice, a green juice or something like that. And I find it also that it was part of my life, but it was also a healing process because I had very bad eczema on my whole body. So it totally
Mm,
healed from that. It took me 1.5 years on being
on the
fully raw
live row.
vegan. Yeah,
Gotcha. Yeah,
live raw. Sorry, it depends on how people name it.
that's beautiful.
And yeah, that was amazing. I totally healed me. And then afterwards, we went to Thailand on holiday, and I couldn't eat all the things that I usually eat at home. And then
Yeah.
I realized, I had a lot of fruit there, but then I also had a little bit of their vegetables that they make, like stir fry type of vegetables, and it tasted so good. And afterwards, it was very hard for me to go back when we came back, very hard,
Yes.
very challenging to go back to the fully raw. So I just decided I'm gonna eat now high raw, but I still believe the live raw is the way to go because I felt amazing on that, and I
Oh
even feel
yeah.
amazing now.
You
And to
you
be
will.
Yes, and to be healed, you need to be live raw because you need to give your body a break so it can heal. And
Hmm.
that's what, and for me, if you just eat vegan, even if you eat healthy vegan, you might not heal 100% because you need to give a break for your body, like you said, to oxygenate the cells. Because obviously, if you eat anything cooked, it's going to be food that's not oxygenated, that loses its life force. So it's
Absolutely.
definitely the nutrients and
And
everything.
carcinogenic.
Yes, exactly, because it's cooked. If you stir fry it or there is carcinogenic things in it, you could steam something, that is still fine, but it won't have maybe some of the live enzymes and things like that in it. So I totally agree with you. And it is possible to heal. I believe that you can heal from anything. But the question is, does it serve you? Does the person want to be healed? Because sometimes they listen to you and they just want to prove themselves that they can't be healed. They want to prove that
Oh
nothing
yeah,
works because that's their path, and they don't want to face something in their life, or they don't want to, be healed and follow that path, or they just want to be where they are at their life, and they're learning, they're serving them somehow to be sick, maybe they're still learning something, or but if you really want to be healed, you can be healed. That's what I believe. You can be healed from anything. Like you
absolutely.
said, you help people with also mental illness and anxiety and depression. I almost believe 100% that it is from the food. That
Oh,
I
absolutely. Not a
don't have
question.
any coffee. I don't have any coffee. I haven't had alcohol for years. I haven't had coffee for years. I don't eat any dairy. It just makes me even nauseous if I smell it,
That's
like dairy,
good.
like they
Yeah,
make a mistake. In South Africa, you can get, it's called the red cappuccino, which is a rooibos tea. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's a very healing tea. Everybody drinks it here from
it's
a
called
red
what?
bush. It's called rooibos. It's like a red bush tree.
No, I've
So
never
there's no
heard of it.
caffeine in it. So they make tea. So I have that with almond milk at the restaurants. They make like a cappuccino frothed. And sometimes they make a mistake putting normal milk in instead of almond. I can already smell it. I'm putting it close to my nose. And I'm like, oh no, take it back,
That's
please. Please
good.
change it for
That's
me.
good that you can
So
smell
you,
that. That's
yes, and
very good.
I still prepare meat and everything for my family because they're not vegan. So that's a little bit challenging. But you can do anything. When people tell me no, they can't be vegan because now the rest of the family still needs to eat normal food. I cooked separately. Even now I cook separate for my husband and my daughter. My daughter is a vegan during the week, and on the weekend she has meat once or twice. So
Okay.
she eats the same food as me during the week. And I still have to cook for everybody. And there's no excuse, when it comes to your health. And if you want to do it, you can do it, you know?
Right.
So that's
Right.
what I
That's
say as
exactly
well.
right.
Yeah.
See, and that's why if you've noticed,
Mm.
and I don't know if you've heard this, but in my health classes, I always teach this is your health journey. It's not my health journey. Even when I teach my health class, see, the one thing I learned is ego. You must drop the ego. See, for instance, the first time I learned this was when I had my heart attack. I was arguing with someone and I almost had a relapse. And at that moment, I realized it's no reason for me to ever get in an argument. What am I doing when I'm arguing? I'm trying to get you to either believe what I believe or to do what I want you to do. Both of those are my ego. You don't want that. So my goal is to share a conversation that will allow you to want to do what it is you're supposed to do. I can't force that. If you want to die, I'm very comfortable with that. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you if you want to live. I'm happy for you wherever you want to be. So if a person decides, I want to be on a pescatarian diet, then I say, great. This is the best way to be on a pescatarian diet. If a person says, I want to be vegan, I want to go there right now. Great. These are the things that you need to do that. I'm always saying you need to move forward from that, but start there. Get to where you're comfortable. Even in my health class, I say interrupt me because it's your health class. So people ask questions the whole time. That's what makes the class great. It gets better. The questions were so good at the last health class, we all got chills in the room. You got what I'm saying? I mean, it was that intense. So I'm saying, like, it's a beautiful thing. So it's your health journey. It's not your sister's health journey, not your brother, not your cousin. Don't listen to nothing nobody's saying when it comes to your health journey. You have to walk in this health journey to get as far as you can this lifetime, right? So during this, you want to get as far as you can because your goal, as far as I can see right now, is You trying to get everybody's trying to become a spiritual being again. And that's to me breatharianism, because what are you eating? What are you living on as a breatharian is spirit. So if
Mhm.
you're going to eat food, I go to the optimal livet, the livet that is designed for our bodies, that our bodies are designed to eat. That's the optimal livet. Everything else is a phase or stage to that location. We trying to get now. That's when we're eating. But when we begin to stop eating physical food, and this was the other thing about the breatharian that's so deep is the breatharian is eating. This is why people died when they were trying to become breatharians, because they had in their mind, I'm going to stop eating. It's not stop eating. You're eating no longer physical food, you're eating ethereal food. You're eating spirit. That's why you have a breatharian lunch. You got to learn how to breathe. You got to learn how to take in these nutrients and create energy into the mitochondria and so forth that you would not normally be, that you wouldn't do just if you're just starving. So a person that's starving is somebody that's not eating, but we eat. So every form of food we move forward, we're just lightening up the diet to allow what? More spirit in the body, which is going to give you more health, as you said, to become more oxygenated, right? So that is the key to the class, and everything that we do is just to be able to become the best us we can be. Now, once you become that, the mental has to be as clear as the body, right? And the spirit has to be as clear as the body. Once we do that, we're in what? Unconditional love. We're in total peace. We understand exactly who and what we are and what we emit throughout, the world. And so now we move into another space of true spirituality. We've dropped the ego, we've let it go, right? You can do that. We can do this. All we got to do is create the conversation where more people will want to do that which is right, not because they're forced to, but because they want to. So your daughter right now, she's doing great. She's doing 5 days of vegan. 2 days she's doing meat. Now what we have to understand is how can we look at that in a different light? What if we say, I'm a vegan, but I do meat as an experience? I
Mm.
might eat meat every 6 months, or I might eat meat every 3 months, or I might eat a piece of meat every so. Now you are vegan, but you do meat as an experience. Then what's going to happen? You're going to move to live, and you might do vegan as an experience. See what I'm saying? So we're doing these things not as every day, right? We're doing these things as an experience, and that can happen. So as you move
And yet,
forward,
what you're doing, sorry to interrupt you, you're removing the judgment from it.
absolutely, it's
Mm-mm.
judgment-free healing. It's guilt-free
Mm.
healing. It's your health journey. Who are you guilty to?
Yeah, well, we always reflect to ourselves, so we're actually judging
Exactly.
ourselves. Everything is about us, everything around us is just a mirror to us. Like you said, if
Everything.
yeah, and love is the highest vibrations, highest
Absolutely.
frequency. So if we,
Unconditional love.
exactly, yes, unconditional love, and I totally agree with you. And if you shouldn't judge yourself, even I see a lot of vegans or even live vegans, it's almost like they're so judgmental about themselves if they eat something that they're not supposed to
It's
eat. They
ego.
feel like now that's it, they have to start all over again, that
See,
raw
that's ego,
journey
because that's going to
starting
make
that.
you quit. That's what it was
Yeah.
designed to do. See, that's your ego. Your ego is doing that. If you make a mistake, you just say, okay, I made a mistake today. Now, notice that if you truly are serious about your journey, you might make the mistake again. It might be longer. How long have you been raw or vegan before you made the mistake? Let's learn from it. Like, for instance, I'll be straight up with you. Like, I had cookies, right? Not today or nothing, but I'm good. I'm pretty good now, but I might have broke it and be like, I did some cookies. I don't hide that. I don't
Mm.
run from that. I understand, Daooeed, with all the information that you know, why would you eat cookies? you know when you do that, you're doing something wrong. Now, I want to explain to you what I mean because this is how I grow. So, if I took a knife out and started stabbing myself, right? You would call the crazy house on me, right? Why? Because I have a mental illness. They're going to take me and put me in a straitjacket so I don't hurt myself. So, what I had to realize was when you're doing this, there's a mental illness. There's a problem with your mind. That doesn't have to do with your body. You have a mental illness that's causing you to do this. This isn't judging, it's just truth. I don't look down on it. I don't look bad at down on me or nothing. I'm saying, okay, so what's causing it? Now, in my meditations, I can go into me and be like, where does this cookie fetish come from? And it might take me all the way back into the past. And because of this, and when this happens, this is a comfort food for me. So I have to get through the truth and get to the truth of the root of the matter so I can release those cookies. You understand what I'm saying?
I
Because
totally understand because my
right,
problem was alcohol. I promise
alcohol.
you,
Okay,
when I went raw, of live raw, it was about more than 3 years ago. No, 2 years ago now.
good.
And I used to have a drink like when I come back from work, I would have one drink just to relax. So I used it as
Crutch.
a tool, like a crutch. And I
Mm-hmm.
promise you, going raw wasn't even difficult for me. The difficult part was stopping not drinking that glass of wine or glass of something, at the end of the day. That was the hardest for me. And even after like 6 months, I still had, cravings, like you said. It was a mental thing for me,
And
and I had to overcome.
it's deep that you say that when you went raw. And let me explain to you why.
Yes,
From okay, so I was an alcoholic for
sure.
years.
Yes,
This was I was younger, but I was an alcoholic. So
yes.
when I quit drinking, I replaced it with starch. And I didn't
Uh,
realize till later that starch creates alcohol in my system. Now, when
right.
you go raw, really you're not getting the starch. So alcohol would make sense because you're trying to get you're trying to get that alcohol that you're getting from the starch. But we have to drop starch and the alcohol. You understand?
I never thought about it like that, but it's
But
so
it's
right
true. Yeah,
because
that's what
my
happens.
comfort food is potatoes, and that's one of the biggest
Mine
starch.
too. Please don't get me started. We're gonna go to spaghetti, potatoes, all that. That was my comfort zone, right? And so alcohol was my comfort zone, and I replaced it, unbeknownst to me, when I quit. I replaced it with starch, and I didn't know that. And that was one of the major reasons that I had my heart attack too, because a vegan doesn't mean healthy. It doesn't even mean
Mm-mm.
plant-based anymore. It just means no meat or meat byproducts. So you could do all the starch, you could do the meat substitutes, you can do all the soy. These things are destroying the body, but
Mm.
we think it's better than meat, but it's not. They both cause cholesterol clog up, the starch and all of that. So yeah, yeah, that's where, and I can see that, and that makes perfect sense to me that you went to the alcohol.
Yes, and I think that we are not alone. Some people might not struggle with alcohol, but like you said, they struggle with eating chips or cookies or
Exactly.
sweets. Like that's a comfort zone when they have a stressful situation, then at the end of the day, a stressful job, then they want to sit down and eat a box of cookies or something like that.
Right.
So it's
Don't
it's
even get into
almost like,
pizza.
yeah. Yeah, the pizza as well. Oh, people love the cheese,
People will
cheese.
love that one.
Yeah. And it's already, but you can do it. I can tell everybody that it is possible to do it. For me, what was the most important is to be healed because my eczema was just so uncomfortable and I couldn't do a lot of things in my life, and I had to
Mhm.
go through this process. And it's just been amazing, and my I feel so free now, that my skin is not sore all the time, because when you heal, then you sometimes constantly feel the pain and you get so used to it. So that was one of the first things when I started eating raw, is that when my eczema started healing, then
Mhm.
I stopped having the pain. And I'm like, this is so weird. I can't remember when last time I felt that I didn't have this constant, uncomfortable pain on my skin. And
Right.
yeah, it was amazing. So, like you said, it's a personal journey. I think not everybody wants to be healed, even if they say they want to be healed. They want the easy
You're
way
right.
out because sometimes it's not easy, going through this process and a spiritual awakening, or whichever way you look at it. If it's like you said, you have to do it on all levels. You cannot
Yeah.
be, according to me, you can't really you have to do it on all levels. I'm not going to be judgmental, and I'm not going to say that you have to eat healthy to be spiritually high vibrational, but I think that
You
it
do.
does go hand in hand according to me.
They
I
absolutely
cannot,
do.
yeah, if a person is a monk or someone that's meditates 24 hours, I'm sure that they also eat very well, like those Tibetan monks, or they fast or something like that, because
They're
I cannot,
fasting during that time,
yes,
right?
like I cannot imagine being on the Western diet and being able to achieve all I shouldn't say enlightenment, but the higher vibrational levels, like accessing the fifth dimension or the fourth, because our
Absolutely.
bodies, yeah, so our earth is changing into a higher frequency. So that's why I think
Absolutely.
so
Right now.
prevalent, yeah,
That's why
right
this
now.
conversation's even being had because of that.
Exactly, exactly. And people have to let go. And that's one of the major, I think, themes of 2024 and 2025. You have to let go of all your things that keeping you stuck. And what's
Mhm.
keeping you stuck is your old belief systems. And those are the energies that are holding you back. So if you let go of negative belief systems, like something that you picked up when you were a child, or from your schooling or anything like that, and you let go of that, then that frequency can be added to your core frequency, so your general frequency can be higher. Because
Mhm.
actually, without all our beliefs that we grew up with, we are a very high vibrational being. But because of
Correct.
the
Super
we
high.
yeah, so because we are born into this families, friends, and what surrounds us, that's what actually some of the negative things that we learned, even
Mhm.
unknowingly, can hold us back. And I think, like you said, food and mental health and everything is that's why we have to work on ourselves. Everybody has to do it for themselves. Nobody's going to do it for you. And I think
Mhm.
that's why a lot of people don't want to do the
Well,
work.
I want to say this, and it's so important. You're right. Only you can heal you, number one.
Mm, exactly.
Number two, only the point that you made, and you made it twice, and it's very important, is that a lot of people don't want to be healed. And I just spoke on that the other night. And when I'm saying that, and what you're saying, when you say that is, see, most people believe in something called a magic pill.
Mm,
They're looking for the magic pill. If I was a pill, if I was a, let me say it this way. If I would, yeah, let me say it this way. If I was a pill pusher, if I sold medication or I sold herbs or drugs, right? Trust me, I would be rich right now because that's what people are looking for. They're
mm,
always looking for what to add to their diet, right? But there is no such thing as a magic pill. Why? Because you cannot trick nature. You
mm.
can't do that which is wrong. I call it sinning, right? When you're on this way, like you're going this way, you're sinning. I just call it that. Like you can't, you what you did on the path to destroy your body, you have to come back through. Just like when you healed yourself through the live raw, there were certain things you went through in that process, right? That you had to go through
Yes.
in order for that full healing to take place. I know, trust me. I went through my painful situations as well.
Yes.
So I
Yeah,
totally
because
understand.
a lot of things come up. But as soon as you start
Right.
eating healthy, then your vibration, your frequency is much higher. So as soon as you're much higher frequency, then a lot of things will come up because your body wants to clear them.
They
And
have
then
to.
now, it's a double whammy because now you're eating raw. And then plus now you have to deal with all your spiritual or metaphysical things that are
Got to
coming
deal with
up.
them.
So
Yes.
maybe some people are not ready, and that's okay. We're not going to judge them if they're not
No,
ready.
no, we're not
But
judging.
yeah, so it's just that I think we are here to help people to, if they want to take the journey, then they
Mhm.
can. It is possible, and we can help them. You can help with your health class.
Absolutely.
I can help people by just listening to the podcast, and listening to the stories of everybody else.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. And like I was saying, so the magic pill does not exist. And this is what everybody's looking for.
Mm.
So when you're trying to give them information that's truly going to heal them, they're looking to add something. People always ask me, well, what herb should I get? What this should I get? What that? And I say, none of that caused the problem. What caused the problem is what's in you and what you've been putting in you. It's not about adding, it's about removing. So in other words, let's look at what you're presently putting in your body, and let's start removing the things that are causing the problem. But they always don't they don't want to do that. What they want to do is keep doing what they're doing and then get the results as if they're doing right. And that's what this society as well as the medical industry wants. They want you to be able to do whatever it is you want to do and get the results as if you had done that which is right. That's the goal. And so that's what they're looking for when they're telling you, well, I want to eat this, I want to do this. They're saying, I want to do what's wrong to my body, destroy my body, yet I want to get the results as if I did what's right. So I'm going to go get Pepto Bismol. I'm going to go get this drug. I'm going to go get this so I can continue to do the things that I want to do, yet supposedly get the results as if I had done right. And that's the battle with themselves, not with us, because we already did what we're supposed to do, right? And we're growing in that vein. I'm saying that's the battle with them. Now, what I have done is I release those people. Great.
Mm.
Is that what you want to do? I'm here when you're ready. Just like I was in the store yesterday promoting my services, correct? As the people were coming in, I speak to everyone. Some people say hi or speak to me back, some don't. The beauty is, what I've recognized is those that don't speak back, they can't even see me. They're not in the space. I'm not there for them. See, I show up in your space because you asked for me to be there somehow, and vice
It's like
versa.
you're not even in their reality, probably.
Exactly. I'm
You
not even in the
know?
reality.
Yeah,
So even though
yeah.
we can see each other physically, but on a spiritual plane, I'm not there for them. The purpose for me being in that room, that's all I'm looking for. I'm only looking for the people that I'm supposed to be there for. That's it. So I'm not, or vice versa. I'm looking for the people also that are there for me. You see what I'm saying? Because there's things that's going to come to me and vice
Mm.
versa. We can only be in each other's space because we asked for it. So if that's the case, now I'm looking for those people. So when I'm speaking and I'm saying hi, I want to see who's going to respond back because I want to see who's who. I want to see when people come to my table or speak to me, I want to know who's who. I know people that call me and be like, I need help with this, and that. Great. I'm there for them. So when you're ready, I'm here.
Mm.
I'm not here because I want you to be ready. I'm here because when you're ready, I'm supposed to be in this place to help you.
Because you're not
Mm-mm.
forcing everybody because you just giving your services to the universe, saying
I'm
that
sharing.
you're ready for people to come to you if they're ready. But if you're forcing people to trying to convince them of what you're saying is true, then you're
Right,
actually
right.
working from the ego mind. So
Exactly.
because you want to prove something to yourself, then mirror it
Mhm,
back to you that you are worthy and you're believing what you're saying. But if you're
mhm.
not forcing your beliefs on other people or the way you're living, then you're actually not working from ego mind, which is great. That means that you believe, you're living what you're believing, because a lot of people, trying to convince you something of something, and that is actually coming from the fact that they don't even believe it themselves, what they're doing. Because
Absolutely
it,
not.
yes,
They're not ready. They're just not ready. It's not, they have to go through a process to get to this place. And that's the thing I was going to say when you talked about how it's hard to be around your friends and family. But what I learned was they're going to fall off. See, as you ascend, they must fall off. As you go through the
mm,
fire, the dross is going to come off, right? So a lot of those attachments that we have is holding us back, but we have to let them go. So I had to release all attachments, right? I lived in the woods for a year off
oh
grid
wow,
alone, right? I want you to understand, like, so you have to let all the attachments and everything go
mm,
and become who you are, right? I am. You must become that. You must become I am. You must know who and what you are. And then you don't have to worry about nothing. You're never alone. Trust me, you are never alone. The divine universal forces are around you. You'll be so connected. I won't be worried. My favorite place is what people call alone. That's my favorite place to be. So when I'm saying that to say, what's going to happen is those people, as they elevate, will come back into your space. They're going to show up as a whole different being in your space because they can't be in your space unless they are
yeah,
what they're supposed to be, or they're coming to you to ask questions now. Because they're going to see the difference. They automatically see the difference. For instance, I have a client right now, and he did exactly what I told him to do. In 2 weeks, everybody's like, "Man, you look great." A month later, I'm getting clients just because of how he looks now from following what I told him to do in 30, it might be 60 days, between 30 to 60 days. You understand what I'm
mm,
saying? Reverse
of
all his
course.
issues and everything. And the reason that I'm saying that is because he chose to do it. He's getting the results and he's being blessed from it. And so because of that, you're going to automatically draw those people back. So even the people that are naysayers, even the ones like, you lost weight, you look da 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 da, that's beautiful because you should not be the matter that you were yesterday, unhealthy. You should be a different form of being or matter when you're healthy, right? So if somebody's telling you you look different or crazy or this and that, that's beautiful because that means you're not who you were when you were unhealthy. So now those people, you're not listening to them. Now when the fullness of it all comes back around, everybody's gonna be coming to you like, hey, yo, Judith, how do I do that? Yo, Judith, I noticed da 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 da. Judith, do you have any advice on it? Judith, do you have this da da da? They're gonna be coming to you because they see the glow on you. And that glow is the key. They're gonna see the difference and they want to be there subconsciously. It's just been driven out of them by society.
Mm,
Just like I always say, was the Bible supposed to be written? No, the Bible was never supposed to be written. It just had to be written so that you could get an inkling of you again. That's why it says the law is not up in the sky that you have to have somebody else go get it, and it's not underground where you have to have somebody else go get it. It's in your heart, but it's been driven out of your heart through over thousands of years through societal ideas. You got to come back into you again. The book, what does it say? The book, it is written of me. It's written of you. The book is written. You're the book. You're
mm,
everything you need. There is nothing outside of you you need. Nothing. It's
okay.
all here. It's all in you. And when you can finally get all of you back, when you can finally get inside of you and love you with a clean, pure, 100% love and have that clean heart and that clean spirit and that clean mind, man, it is nothing like that. There is no comparison, period. So I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what they do. I'm telling you, I am happy, and I'm happy for them where they are. You are, that's where you want to be right now. When you're ready to move to the next level, hallelujah, I'm with you. I come see me. But when you're not, man, I'll be telling people that's beautiful. That's great. Keep doing what you're doing. Get, and when you're ready, come see me. So it's love.
Yes, and
It's
that's why
unconditional love.
people, yeah, no, I totally agree. Like in my life as well, is that, like you said, as soon as I went a live raw, or as soon as you change your life in a positive way, you're definitely
Mhm.
gonna lose some of your friends or family, maybe. It doesn't
Oh
mean it
yeah.
has to happen like that, but like you said, you know, they change, and then other people take their place, and maybe it's better people or people that you can relate to better, you know, and
Mhm.
get rid of
And
the old
that's
energy.
now that right there is exactly what's going to happen. Let me tell you, I'm going to tell you a story real quick. Now listen to what I'm saying. This is deep right here. So I had my heart attack. I go raw that day, right? The day I had my heart attack, I go raw. That night, I had one salad and passed out. I go raw that night. That's when I go raw. Now, because I didn't listen to the voice, I was hard headed, right? Then that's what happened in the garden. Adam and Hawa hid from the voice of Elohim, or God, as they would say. Hear from the voice of God, right? They hid. We have to learn to hear again. So I was hard headed. I didn't. So I had my heart attack. Now, when, hold on, I want, okay. So, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah. So I get better. I'm better now, right? This is like a year later. I go to California. I'm in San Diego. And in San Diego, it was like I had created an environment of live foodists. And all of them, whether they had been live and stopped or they were live, these are just people. I'm just at an event. These people just showed up out of nowhere. It didn't have nothing to do with food or anything. These people come, and the beautiful thing about being live foodists, what I found is when I got to this level of development, racism was gone.
Racism.
Was
What
gone.
if,
It
okay,
doesn't
yes,
exist in this realm.
yes,
It
yes,
doesn't
no.
exist here. That was a beautiful thing to me. I was surprised because I didn't
Mm,
care what nationality. I was talking to Indian, Native Indian show was there.
mm,
It was like all
yeah.
different nationalities, and they all had they were conscious. And we were at a regular event, and they showed up in my space, and each and every one of them. What the thing that was so amazing was the that volume of knowledge or that level of consciousness was the same. We had the same conversation across the board, which let me know every diet change, there's a volume, there's a level of consciousness that's open in that each volume as you go up. And the purpose of that is mercy, because on twofold. The first level of mercy is you've been at every level so you can understand people on the level down. That's why you know it's your ego when you are looking down on someone that's on the lower level of consciousness, because you're saying, I'm better than you. No, you're not. That doesn't matter. The fact that I'm live raw and that I'm at a different level of consciousness does not make me better than you. We're equal. We're the same. The difference is just the information that I'm able to gather that you might not be able to get to that information on the level of consciousness that another person is at, right? But because I've been there, I understand exactly where you were at. I remember there was a day I said I will eat swine till the day I die. I literally told somebody that. They was like, we shouldn't eat swine. I said, man, I'm gonna eat swine till the day I die. That's how low level consciousness I was at. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying I've been through every single level of consciousness to get to this level. So I understand when a person makes that statement. I understand. I got you. When you ready,
But it's
come.
because you can understand, you can relate to them on all levels. So you
Absolutely.
can actually help a lot of people because you're coming from that. So how can you
Exactly.
help someone if you were, like say you would be on this level already since you were born, then you couldn't
Exactly.
help all the people, 99% of the people in this world, because then,
Mm-mm.
you know,
That's why the heart attack was so important,
mm,
because I healed myself, meaning everything that I teach, I've done. So when I'm telling you something, when I'm telling somebody something, it's not the fact that I'm questioning whether it works or not. Like I know it works. Like I don't have a question. It's not, I'm telling you what works. The things that didn't work, I threw them away. The things that work, they work. There is going to work. If you do this, you will have these results. And the more I teach, teaching is elevated learning, right? So I'm saying that the more I teach it, the more information I get, the more it backs everything that was sent to me through the divine universal force for me to heal myself. I'm seeing it heals almost everything. Like I'm telling you, I would sit back and just be like, man, like every single piece. So the more I get it and the more people that get healed and the more information I receive, it just confirms everything that I've been doing. And so that's why I'm saying, like, I've been through these processes. This ain't, I'm not teaching this from a textbook. I was the laboratory. I was the rat. You understand? So
Yes.
if what I'm saying is not true, I'd be dead. That's why I didn't go to the hospital. So I didn't go to the hospital when I had my heart attack. I stopped it with cayenne pepper because I believed and knew at that time cayenne pepper stops a heart attack or stroke. I stopped it with the cayenne pepper. I then could only stay awake 2 hours a day. Later, I understood, right, that through Kifra, that was under Aris Latham, I understood my body kicked me into a fast, an intermittent
Mhm.
fast. It did that on purpose so it could heal. That's why I mastered fasting. I understood the concept because your body does two things, it heals and digests. So if that's the case, I was healing that whole time. That's why I could only stay awake 2 hours a day. My body forced me into a fast, which I should have already done on my own, right? Then
Mm.
I was eating once a day. That's it. Then I could go to 4, 6, 8 hours per day. And so I'm saying this process that I went through, I'm studying, I'm learning, I'm growing to heal me. Once I healed me, then I was able to help other people because of what the processes I have been through. And that's the same thing on every level of consciousness. I can help people because I've been through those levels of consciousness already. You got what I'm saying? And so can everybody else. But the problem is, and this is what happened to the sages in the past and a lot of the elders, right? Is they want you to come to them, meaning my goal is to get you to the point where you don't need me anymore. You understand what I'm saying? I want you to become the teacher. I become the student. Now I grow. Then I become the teacher again. You become the student. And then we grow. This is the proper process. But if I had ego, I'd be trying to keep you under me. That's why we heard teachers say what? Uh, I didn't teach you all my tricks. Why didn't you? That's ego. I
Mm.
don't want you to be as
Exactly.
great as me. The teacher should make you greater than them. Why?
Yes.
Because you don't have to make the mistakes that they made. Therefore, you should
So
be.
what you, yes.
Go ahead. I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
I'm just saying that you're actually empowering them. You're empowering
Yes,
them to be who they meant to be, so they don't need you anymore, you know? And
absolutely. I don't want
yeah,
them
you're
to.
not, yeah.
Right. That's true freedom.
Mm.
Why? Because if there's two of me, now we can help massive people. If there's 10 of me, then right, it's really you. Really, more importantly, if it's 10 of us that are just truly ourselves and not this false ego that we created to survive in this society, if it's true, two true beings, now there's two true beings on the earth. If it's 10, if it's 100, if it's 1,000, if it's 1,000,000, you got what I'm saying? Now we've created quote unquote heaven on earth or utopia or true peace on earth. That's how it's created by a conversation. And if you're doing it not because you have to, but because you want to, nothing can stop you.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
understand what I'm
you're right.
saying? And so,
Yes.
but what the sages did was they kept the information. They
Yes.
hid it because they wanted to be what? On top. They wanted to be looked up to. They wanted to be great. But the true sage was the servant. He gave everything so that, or she gave everything so that he or she could actually have it, so that they could be, so the world could have it all. So we all can have it all. And that's the goal. So the more people we get to do it because they want to, not because they have to, the better. The less force, right, is the better, right? So we want more, we don't power versus force. So we want more people with power versus more people that we have to force into it. You got what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's where,
Uh, yes,
yeah,
yes. And I think that all this information is out there in the universe, in our consciousness. It's just people don't know how to access it, and you're just
oh,
helping
absolutely.
them to. So you can't keep this from people because there's nothing to hide away from people. That's
Yeah.
why it's all there, so people can actually access it. It is free
Absolutely.
information. So all these
Absolutely.
sages in the past, or masters who didn't, like you said, the people must go back to them. They also were holding on to something because they were thinking if the people come to them, then the people will pay for their services, so they have a living. So they didn't trust the process, and
Correct.
for themselves as well.
Because
That
once it,
you're always gonna be looked after. You don't have to worry about that.
right, you don't have to worry about none of that. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing is, once you really give and you give your all and you give your whole, once we get it back to where it's supposed to be, once that time comes, no matter how many lifetimes, but once it gets there, we're not going to need money anyway.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
not going to, that's not even going to be a thought. We ain't even going to be thinking about no money. Money's going to be absolutely nothing, worthless.
But you remember, I mean, in 50, 100 years time, I think all the worldly system will change to a different type of system.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
all those old systems are crumbling. I think in the next 50 to
They're
100
going,
years, it will be, yeah.
you're about to see it. The world is changing so rapidly. And the beautiful thing is I'm really impressed with the younger generation. They really impressed me. Millennials, I don't know which generation you're in. You probably like a
Um,
millennial or younger, right?
I'm 45.
Oh, you are? Okay. So you're a millennial then, right? You land in that generation?
Yeah, just a bit before me, like just at that cusp of the millennial.
You cut
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right
because
at
I
the
was born
cusp.
in 79. So it
Right.
just started just, in that cusp. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
exactly. So,
Your generation and the generation of beneath you and the one beneath that really impressed me with their level of consciousness to get it so fast. Like I say, the things that I'm teaching a 5-year-old child should know. That's how far behind we are when it comes to
mm,
consciousness. Like at the age of 5, the things we're talking about right now, a 5-year-old child should know that. So just imagine in the next 100, 2, 3, 4, 500 years, where that 5-year-old child will know this. Just imagine what the 50-year-old and the 100-year-old will know.
exactly.
You
But
understand what I'm saying? So it's going to be
yeah,
amazing.
no.
I can't wait.
Yes, yes, exactly. I love it. I love that. I love what you're talking about. And what I wanted to say is a lot of people talk about, how this world is keeping them back. They don't take responsibility
Mm,
for themselves. They say,
no.
"Oh, the government is doing this. The system, the shadow government, or whoever, they are holding us back. The pharmaceuticals, and this is evil." But my feeling is that, I mean, why don't you can make that choice for yourself? You don't have to take that medication. Everything is
No.
possible. You can be healed. Like you said, you don't need medication. You can, if you take that responsibility and if you are healthy, you can be healed from anything. So everything, all that information is out there. So you just need to take responsibility for it. So people don't want to
Absolutely.
take responsibility. They want to
No.
blame the government, or they want to blame the pharmaceutical companies or the oil companies. We don't have to make those choices as a collective. Everybody, all individuals on this planet can decide for themselves to make a better choice, and all those, then what happens is if everybody makes a better choice and starts eating healthier, for example, then we don't need the pharmaceuticals are automatically gonna be
Out of business.
eventually out of business. So we can't say, these people are making me do this. Nobody's making you do anything. You're
Mm-mm.
actually doing that to yourself. So you can make that choice every day to choose for yourself. And you are empowered, spiritual and human being. We can make that choice for ourselves. And eventually those old systems will crumble away, like all the old government systems and the pharmaceuticals and the oil companies, but we all have to make a better choice individually.
Absolutely. That's not even a question. That is right on point, exactly what you're saying. And as I say in my creation series, is and was given to me, is that everything that is happening, everything that will happen, and everything that has happened is a figment of your imagination. In other words, a person has a cake today, yay, tomorrow they break their leg. They want to take they want to take credit for the cake, but they want to blame somebody else for the broken leg. They don't want to take credit for that. So everything that shows up in your space, everything that you created on your behavior, your actions, what you did and did not do. It's a figment of your imagination. Life is a conversation. So I don't care if you go here or do this or do that based on a conversation you were either having with yourself, spirituality, another person, or something. Life is a conversation. You're creating these moments every second, and most people don't realize the power of their word. Therefore, they allow circumstance to create their word, or their circumstance to create their word, and circumstance to create their world, instead of allowing their word to create their circumstance or their world. So either they're allowing the world to create their word, or they're allowing their word to create their world. And
Yes.
so we
They're
want to let
looking,
our
yeah, they're
word create.
looking, yes. Sorry, I'm just saying
And
they're
that's
looking outside
responsibility.
of, yes, they're looking outside of themselves. That's all I wanted to
Absolutely. They're
add.
always looking outside of.
Yes.
That's the problem. That's the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem because we've been taught that there's a God outside floating around in the sky. But the creator or God, or as I say, Yahweh, Elohim, is everything and everywhere. So it's in you. This is where you have to find everything. And most people are afraid of themselves because of some type of traumatic experience they went through, either in this lifetime or past lifetime or whatever. They're afraid to go into the place where they're going to find all their answers. And as I always tell people, you're looking for you. Like they're always looking for this and that and this. You're looking for you. You're looking for you. Stop going out and start going in, and you're going to find everything you're looking for. And when you do, when you truly get it, like I said, there's nothing that can replace it. Because what now? What can happen? Nothing. Like what do you look? What? I mean, you know what's going. You know who you are. So it doesn't matter what other people think. Doesn't matter if somebody's there, they're not. Like you said, I don't care. Nobody can control anything. Like I don't care if they put you in prison. You can create a whole new reality just being locked in a room by yourself where all you can do is imagine all day and create realities. Please, you could change the whole world. You could change
And
the world.
tell us and the audience, what did you find in the woods when you lived in the woods for a year?
Oh my goodness. Now you're getting into the real deal. Oh, beautiful. That's the I cry. Let me tell you this and then I'll get right into it. Is that fair?
Yes, yes, of course, of course.
When I had to come out of the woods and I was living back in the city, I made a choice. I didn't have to. I made the choice because I was going to be going. I was right at the crossroads. This is probably about a year ago when I was at the crossroads of disappearing forever. You like nobody would see me ever again. And I made the choice. It was a friend of mine. She called me and said, "I you need to teach." And she wanted me to teach half a class with her. And so, because I was like, I'm done teaching. I'm not teaching anymore. I'm finished with that. I'm not doing any of that. I said, I'm gone. And she said, I need you to teach. And she's my friend. And she knows she did that. So good friend. And I said, okay, I'll teach. I said, I was sitting in my car. I'm telling you, I'm already making the plans. I'm ready to go. I'm about to get up out of here. I was like, okay, I'll teach. And she was like, okay. So I taught that class. And I guess I came to the realization that I needed to teach or whatever. I don't know how that came about. Where I'm sitting before you today, I can't even know how that happened. And then I was sitting in my office and I missed the trees so much, I almost started crying. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I miss them. There's a relationship in the woods, in the forest, and in the wilderness. There's a relationship between everything, and you get to know them. So, for instance, we live in what's called the human zoo. I call it the human zoo. I don't know if anybody else does, but that's what I call it. We live in the human zoo, meaning we're so disconnected from nature and who we truly are. We fear nature, which is you. That's why you're afraid of yourself. That's why people don't go inside. Nature is not going to hurt you. Everything in nature, there is no animal on the planet that you are its diet, like you're its food. There's none. It doesn't exist. So the only way that nature is going to attack you is if you violate it. You have to do something for nature to attack you, right? So when I was in nature, there was coyotes, there were bears, wolves, deers, snakes, everything. Nothing is going to bother you. I had an experience so deep. I'm sleeping in my tent, right? And on the outside of the tent, I'm sleeping late at night. And an animal puts his head against my head. I don't know what type of animal it was. I'm asleep. And all I remember is our minds connected. I could read its mind and it could read mine. Like, and I woke up and I jumped and it ran. I heard it run, right? And I woke up. I mean, it was amazing. I'm like, whoa, I'm telling you, nature is so deep. Trees, trees are the communicators. They communicate with everything through the mycelium network. Mushrooms are the mycelium network, right? That's what's running through. And they talk to everything. So I communicate to the animals and everything through trees. Trees are very deep. It is so deep, like you can't even imagine. I'm telling you, I can do meditation. I have a meditation. You can ask Ezra. There's a meditation that I do that will bring animals. I had deer, snakes, everything sitting through my meditation, like for real. Now, when we did it in Costa Rica, they have insects and stuff. So a scorpion came and sat, but I didn't recognize it quick enough, and we put it in bottle and took it out. But I should have just let it sit because I wasn't thinking of it as an animal. I'm thinking of it as an insect. But it is. It's an animal. It's a creature, and it has thought and life. And you see, everything wants to be at peace with you. The only reason things are ravenous. So, for instance, any animal that attacks you is ravenous. That's number one. Unless you're doing something to violate, you trying to take his babies, you get too close to his children, something crazy. You got to do something crazy. Because if you notice in the wilderness, no animal touches any other type of animal. They don't. They respect each other's space. We're the only being that goes and will touch some other animal and this and they don't do that. They respect each other's space. So as long
Mm.
as you respect them, they ain't gonna have no problem with you. Now, the only reason an animal becomes ravenous is because it eats our food. Coyotes, friendly as ever, no problem in the woods. But in the city, they're telling you, start studying, look it up. They're telling you the first time they're having these attacks is now that the coyotes are in the city. Why are the coyotes in the city? Because you tore down their natural environment. That's what I mean. If you would do something crazy, then it's going to become crazy. It's going to start, it will do something. But if everything's in balance, you don't have to worry about nothing. Nature is your friend. So this is what I learned while I was in the woods, as you asked, right? So ravenous means what are you eating? If you're eating outside of your optimal limit, what's designed for your body, you're going to become ravenous. Why? Because it doesn't belong there. So what you're seeing is people, ravenous comes from the word what? Rabies. Everybody's running around with rabies right now, really. That's why you're seeing the murders that you're seeing, rapes that you're seeing, all this crazy stuff that you're seeing is due to the nutrition. Everything is based in nutrition. And so I watch animals and I'm watching them in the woods. Man, they're a whole different species than when you come in the city, right? And that's because of the food. And that's why you'll see them. Now you got coyotes sitting on garbage cans, right? Fighting for you got people that's scared to come outside because the coyotes are guarding the garbage cans because they're addicted to this garbage food or drugs, as I call it. I don't even call it food, drugs that we're eating.
Yeah, because of the additives and everything that's in the food.
It's drugs.
Yeah,
That,
it is like a drug to your mind, you know?
it's a drug, literally. That's why they call it. That's
Mm.
why who deals with the foods in the stores? The FDA, Food and Drug, because they know most of the stuff is drugs, not food in the stores.
Oh,
You got what I'm saying? So
yes.
99% of what you see in those stores, if you're not buying food
Mm.
in the produce section, you pretty much everything else you buying is a drug for the 99%, right? So they know that. That's why they're Food and Drug Administration. They have to be because they have to be able to deal with food and drugs in that store, as well as
Oh,
regular drugs. But those are drugs, and they are, and that's why they're addicted. That's why you're not addicted to fruit. That's why you don't crave fruit. It's good for your body. You're supposed to eat it, but you don't crave it because you're not going to be addicted to food. You're only going to be addicted to drugs. Starch, you're addicted to that. You get addicted to crackers, cookies, cakes. You're addicted because it is drugs. It's not food. Sugar is a drug. Sugar, and when I say sugar, I'm talking about processed sugar, is a drug. It's worse than cocaine. It's more addictive than cocaine.
yeah, they did that study that it
Yeah.
lit up the same things in your mind, you know, the same transmitters and everything in your mind. No, you're
Yeah.
totally right. That's
So,
amazing. You know, I was actually expecting you to say what you learned in the forest is that you found more of yourself. You learned more about yourself and you found more of you
but I
in the
did.
nature.
But I did because nature is me.
Yes,
See, I
exactly.
learned more about me,
Yes,
myself, because that is me. So
exactly. Because
now,
there's nothing out there. There's nothing out there. You're the only one. We're reflecting everything as a mirror. So even the nature
absolutely,
around you is you.
it's you. And it's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful to watch it, to see those birds. Because I went all over the country, right? So to see those birds and all over the world, not just the country, I went all over the world. To see those birds and the beauty to be allowed to sit. Let me explain something to you that's deep. To be allowed to sit and not have to worry about nothing and be in nature and then be able to just observe and be in pure quiet and listen to everything going on and be at peace. Like there's nothing like it. Like when we were at Tanglewood, right, doing the water fast, right?
Yes.
When I was up there, I'm in meditation about 16 hours a day, meaning it's pure quiet, it's peace. I don't have to deal with nothing. I'm in perfect peace, right? This is when you get those moments of being. This is where you are talking about getting, like when you're saying what I'm getting out of the wood, but the woods, what it let me do, it let me connect to the divine universal force in everything. We were one flesh. So you have to understand when I'm saying that I'm watching the time for like the deers come out at this time, the bees come out at this time, humans come out at this time, so and so. We move, that's how it moves. So I know if I don't want to be bothered by bees, I know not to be out at this time in the morning and this time in the afternoon. I don't mind. I've lived with bees. I've had bees living actually in my house, literally like living. Like, I mean, a beehive, I guess, was underneath the house, and they were just coming in, and they were like in there, and then they would come and they would get on my legs when they wanted to go outside, and then I'll take them out, and then they would fly out, like they would crawl up on me and stuff, like literally. So I'm saying like there nothing is going to hurt you when you are in alignment with nature. So what you had to do when I'm meditating and talking to the trees, see, they know me now. Nature knows me. I have a personal relationship with the creator for real, with the divine for real, like not for fake. So anywhere I go, I don't care what woods I go, whatever. When I talk to the trees, they know who I am. They wave at me, literally. You feel what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
you, this is what I got out of it. So when I say I miss the trees, I mean I literally miss them. When I say I used to have conversations with the tree. You remember the sun? Oh my goodness, there's so much knowledge in the sun.
Yeah,
It's,
I heard that one before, about the sun. I had never had that connection with the sun before, but I had a connection with nature before, like you do, like the trees and stuff. But the
yeah,
sun, I haven't really made the connection yet. That must be
the sun,
amazing.
like sun gazing,
Mm.
man, like sun gazing. And you got to be careful. You got to know how to do. You got to do it properly. But sun gazing is so much information. That's why I can understand why people thought it was God. Because there's so much information in the sun, it's ridiculous. And there's so much to share that everything is sharing with you. They want to be one with you, like they're your friends, really. And we think they're our enemies, but they're our greatest friends. They're our greatest friends. That's why, I mean, people when I came back out or whatever, people like, shoot, I ain't gonna be in there like that and this and that. Those things will do this. I said, man, I said, do you not? I said, the city, I said, where you at now? I said, where we at now is a million times more dangerous than in the woods. Please, the woods is safe as ever. Like I be having like them big bucks, you know what I mean? Like deers with the horns, and I'm talking about the real ones. Man, they come up to me, they'll just walk. Deers will come the like that, before, a deer will run. Man, I got deer. They come up to me. Like I can get them to come almost like I say about 3 to 4 feet from me now.
Amazing. Wow. Yeah.
I can almost pet them, like, you know what I'm saying? That's
Yes.
where your spirit is. So that's how you know when your spirit is growing. So that's why I'm saying I know me now. You got what I'm saying? And the first time I'll never forget, I'm in Florida and I'm on the regular street now. Because I'm about to go to the woods, but I'm on a regular street at one of my friends' houses in Florida. So I was down there. I'm walking through the neighborhood. And the first time I realized that trees and all that wave, it was this plant. And everything else was still. So I knew it wasn't the wind. And this mug was waving at me. It was waving, right? Moving back and
Wow.
forth like this. And
Yes.
I'm looking like, what? I'm like, this is strange. So I go look. I'm like, what's going on? So then it wouldn't stop. And so I'm walking back and I see it and I wave back. And when I wave back, it stopped.
No way. Serious. That's
And I said,
amazing.
that's deep. Right. See what I'm saying? So now when I'm in the woods or I wave at the trees and they wave. They
Oh,
wave back.
wow.
I'm telling you, them leaves, like it's deep. It's a deep reality. So when you get this fullness of it, man, everything is they're your friend. And I'm telling you, they will be on your side. They will work with you. Everything is good. Yeah. Yeah. So
I
life is
love that.
good.
I love this. This is amazing. And thanks. This is a great way to close our session, our
I
podcast. But
appreciate it.
you have to be on my podcast again because I think we have a lot to talk about still. Because I feel that there's a lot to discuss and there's a lot of very cool topics we
Absolutely.
can go into. And
Whenever you want.
yes, thank you so much. And will you please share with us where people can find you and all your different courses and everything that people can sign up for?
Yes, the easiest way to find me is Patreon. So the patreon.com, patreon.com /health class. It's all one word. There are no spaces. So patreon.com /health class. That's the easiest way to find me. And then I'm also on YouTube, and it's For You Health Class. So yeah,
I will also share your details in the description, so
thank
there
you.
won't be any chance of people missing you or not finding you. And
Thank you
thank you
so
so
much.
much. I really appreciate you sharing all your knowledge and information with us. And it was a pleasure having you.
And vice versa, I'm going to share my information on my YouTube, and I'm going to share this video, and then I'll put your information and so forth in there. So it's a
Okay,
fair,
great.
that's a sharing. We both share, and that's great. We can grow.
Thank you so much, Dawi.